Welcome to the Brand Marketing Podcast, where we talk to local superheroes and hear how they got their start, overcame obstacles, and used social media to achieve their marketing goals. Here's this week's episode.
All right, we are live. Welcome to the Brand Marketing Podcast. We're doing this show live, and today we have a super special guest. I'm crazy excited. I met this guy online, and right away I just loved his energy. I loved the vibe. I loved what he did. And I was like, hey, can you come on the show? He graciously is blessing us with his presence. His name is Daniel Jones Sr. of Octotasker. Did I say that correctly, Daniel?
You did. Thank you for having me, man.
Nah, thanks for being here, man. I know that in the past week you've been a little down and out just due to being sick. But I'm going to hit you with the first question right away. So I see your name is Daniel Jones Sr. So that means there's a little Daniel Jones Jr. running around, correct?
Yeah, there's a junior and there's two more little ones running around.
Oh, wow. What are their ages?
My first son is 5. I have a 3-year-old, and then I have a 1-year-old.
Nice. So you got a good mixed bag. Love it. I always like to talk to people about their family. We talk about in marketing purpose a lot, what drives people. And I'm sure, as a father myself, one of the things that definitely kept me and still keeps me going and energized is just having kids, having a family, keeps me grounded. So I love that for sure.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough. But
yeah.
It's worth it, man.
It's worth it. All right. So because we are live, and typically we don't do the podcast this way, but again, I'm excited. If you do have questions, drop it in the chat. Again, if you're watching the replay, after watching the live, you can still go ahead and tell me where you're chiming in from, and I'll show you how to get in touch with either myself or Daniel if you need more help. So let's start. All right. So Octotasker, unique name. I love it. How did you come up with that branded name, Daniel?
So I will give you the short version.
Let's do it.
2016, from Buffalo, New York, left Buffalo, New York, kind of, traveled across the country to Seattle, went to school in Seattle, did the whole college thing. Really, college really wasn't my thing. Then I moved to Miami, got involved in sales, got involved in high ticket sales, selling really expensive mattresses. And then I ended up, venturing into like the call center industry.
Okay.
Miami gives you the dream of becoming an entrepreneur. You're seeing everybody with the Mercedes now.
The cars. Yep.
Yeah, the cars. So make a long story short, through climbing the corporate ladder, I climbed the corporate ladder to climb out of the corporate ladder, if that makes sense.
It does.
So I've worked my way up, corporate as much as I possibly can before I threw up and said, hey, this is enough for me. I want to do my own thing. And I got an opportunity to go overseas. So I traveled all the way. Yeah, I traveled all the way in 2016, left my condo to on the border of Albania in a small country called North Macedonia.
Nice.
And the reason
I got some questions there. What made you pick that location? So we're going to come back to you leaving the 9-to-5, leaving that, that corporate hustle mentality for a second, flying all the way across the seas to the small country, the small town. What made you choose that destination? I just got to ask, because I know people don't want to know.
I was in kind of like the credit repair business, the debt buying business, before it got huge. So this is, when I found out that I could just get one of these, phones, you plug them into the, your internet. Now you could like take this phone anywhere you want, and I was like, wow, I could travel anywhere I want with this phone. Yeah. And when my boss told me this, I was like, wow. And eventually I just started working from home, kind of doing my own brokerage thing. And I realized, man, I needed a team, and I just started networking with other people that sell leads. And by networking with a guy that sells leads, I met another guy who was from Macedonia. And he said, hey, man, can you help me open up a call center? Do you have sales experience? And with my experience in the call centers, sales, management, we kind of made a perfect fit. I left everything behind and said, this is my chance. And back then, the pay rate in Macedonia was very different than what we're used to in the States. I mean, judges were getting paid $500 a month and living comfortably.
Oh, wow. Right. So the cost of living was a lot lower. Right. So you're good.
Yeah, the cost of living was great. So I just came over here, planned to come over here for 90 days, build a company, make it as much hands off as I possibly can, go back to Miami, collect my paycheck, retire myself. Didn't work out that way.
Listen, that's the entrepreneur's journey though, man. Like, so every now and then we have big dreams, and those dreams never expire. They don't go away. But throughout the journey as an entrepreneur, you learn that tough times are going to come, struggles are going to come. So when you were transitioning from, I'm going to say comfortable, for lack of a better word, because I know it's not always comfortable, but having a 9 to 5, at least that's steady. It's predictable income, right? So what do
Yeah.
you think about when you're going from, let's call it predictable income, to venturing out on your own? Tell me some of the emotions that you went through during that transition.
Well, I was doing appointment setting first because I when I
Okay.
went into the business, I had to learn everything, and me and my boss, we kind of had a disagreement with
Mm.
the pay, and I kind of went on my own, and I got a contract, and the guy said, "Hey, we're gonna
Uh,
give you our leads. You can work from home," and I never sold a day in my life,
oh
like
wow. Okay.
like this, on the phone or anything like myself. I never did this myself. I've
Right.
sold other. So now I don't even have a script. I'm just remembering like what my boss, was saying on the floor.
Right. Just shoot
And
from the
I'm
hip.
yeah, and I'm just writing it down on a script, and I was like scared, dude, because I was, it was the next. I know that the next morning it's game time. This is my
Yeah.
first time. I'm gonna hit those phones, and it was scary because I'm like, wow, this is like kind of like the first. I'm in freelance mode. I think I'm like, this is my own business, but I'm in freelance mode,
Right. Of course.
and it was scary. And then I kind of got over that fear and kind of you know making them calls, closing
Of
those
course.
deals, doing what I got to do. But the real scary journey was when I actually had a team behind me. I had to hire.
Wow. Yeah.
Once you have payroll, dude, it's a
Right.
whole. You have other responsibilities now.
Of
You
course.
got other people you got to take care of.
Obligations. Yeah. 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 You're taking care of you, your family, those people, and also their family as well. So one of the things
Yeah,
that I had to go through was, when you're thinking about it like that, the average guy that works with you, good or bad, if they're a performer or if they're not a performer, ultimately you can't be human and not thinking about, that guy's responsibilities, that guy's wife or family, right? You know that they have bills. So at that point, you have a crucial decision to make in regards to, are you going to coach them up? Do they have to go? Are they dragging your business down too much? And it's now putting your own family at risk. So it's definitely a lot to think about there for sure. So I agree with you. I agree
yeah.
with
It,
you. So
it,
if,
it, it was scary stuff, man, when you
yeah,
first
yeah.
do it, but you just got to do it.
Right. So if you could go back to those, those early days, those Macedonia days, and you could give yourself one piece of advice, just one piece. So we're not talking to the Daniel of today. We're talking to the Daniel of, again, back in 2016, 2017, 2018. What piece of advice would you give yourself for a younger Daniel?
You know what, man? I really wouldn't give myself any piece of advice, and I'm gonna
Right.
tell you why.
Hit me.
I put myself in an environment. I'm still in Macedonia, by the way. So
Are you right now? Look, or you
I've been
still have,
I'm here, dude. I've been here for 7 years.
that's amazing.
Listen,
That's,
man,
yeah,
my
that's
rent
amazing.
my rent is $200 a month, right?
Right.
I put myself in a position, in a situation that I will never go homeless, that I could fail and fix, fail
Right.
and fix,
Right.
fail and fix. I mean, as much as I want, I fail more, figure it out, fail
Of
more,
course.
take more. What I would tell myself is take more risks, because
Okay, there you go.
I put myself in an environment where I was able to do that, and sure, I'll fail, but I could rebound, write up
Right,
a SOP how we cannot do that again,
right,
add that to the arsenal, and just fix whatever mistakes I made. Don't make them mistakes again.
right. Nah, I love that. So I was going to save this question for a little later on, but I think it ties into something that you just said. Just talking about SOPs, taking a lot of chances and risk, failing and failing forward. If you haven't read that book by John Maxwell, Failing Forward is exactly what that's about. Making sure that you're able to, see that you have this vision, know that there might be bumps, but you're not letting that possibility slow you down or stop you. So you're going to keep taking risks. So it sounds like you have everything under control. You're happy in where you are. What's the one piece of technology or software or app that's just indispensable to you? So it's taking you, it could be new, it could be old, but what's the one thing that keeps you grounded in business? What's the
Facebook
one
too.
software?
Facebook.
Facebook?
Facebook.
Facebook, tell me why. Talk me through it.
Because we've turned Facebook into a profile. Like we implemented something called the profile funnel formula,
Okay,
uh, coined by Desmond Nanner. Uh,
lovely.
so we just turned our Facebook into a giant sales funnel. If you're ever on my Facebook, I don't really have Instagram locked in, but I have
Right.
Facebook really locked in, where we could, we optimize our Facebook, we showcase our, we showcase our results, we showcase our offers, we make sales driven headlines, we grab the attention, we bring them to the stories, bring them into Messenger, we give them great
There you
content,
go.
we give them great materials, and we book all our calls on Facebook.
There you go. So pretty much Facebook is your lead engine. That's what's driving your
Yeah,
business, right? Yep, yep,
yeah,
yep. And for anybody that's listening right now, some the word funnel gets thrown around so much, and sometimes people, think that they have to get expensive software. And of course, there's like click funnels out there. And I'm not downing click funnels, but Daniel is absolutely right in regards to trying to use or trying to get set up on some type of social selling type funnel. We could throw all these words around, but if you could just look at your social platform as the funnel, the place where people come, like Daniel said, to get value, get free information, to communicate and engage through Messenger, right? To
yeah,
get acquainted with their customer in stories, right? So you've seen and to showcase results.
yeah,
We can't eliminate that. Usually when we work with new clients and we do audits, I'm like, there's not enough proof here that you could do what you're saying. Like, I like you and you seem like a good person, you seem like an authority, but to the average stranger that's coming in, we can't tell if you're getting results or not. So now you're hitting it right on the head. And you're on Facebook. I'm doing the same thing on Instagram. So I might have to reach out because I'm trying to
yeah,
get better on Facebook, and it sounds like you're trying to get better on Instagram, so we could swap back and forth. But I also agree with and think that really dialing down to just one platform and being great at that one platform is also okay, especially if you're getting customers from that platform. They're used to you. You wake up every morning, and that's the natural platform you go to anyway. You don't fix what's not broken. So, what do you think about that, Daniel?
I mean, I agree. So this is what people have to understand, right?
Talk to me.
You
Yep.
you have different audiences on different platforms. The same
Hmm.
audience that uses Facebook isn't necessarily going to be the same audience that uses Instagram, isn't going to be
Exactly.
the same audience that uses LinkedIn. So you need to be a master communicator. You need to be able to communicate to the Instagram audience differently how you would communicate to Facebook, which is very different than how you would communicate on LinkedIn, which is extremely different how I would communicate and book appointments on through email.
For sure. For
So
sure. Yep. So,
these different platforms are entirely different. I'll just give an example. I may not, I don't know, I may not find a tattoo owner, right, a tattoo shop
of
through
course.
through email, but I'm
Right.
definitely gonna find them on Instagram. I'm
A thousand
definitely
percent.
so yeah, it's just you got to know your audience, where they
Right.
hang out at, where a group kind of gets together, where they're all at. And once you can figure out, how they interact and where they all group, then you're gonna know, pretty much, how to communicate with them, and
Right.
how you're gonna be able to actually even test your messaging and your offer.
Yep. Now you're hitting it on the head, man. So we're gonna definitely use this as a excerpt for sure. Turn it into short form content because you're definitely dropping some valuable tools right now. So value is
I'm
what it's
I'm
all about.
I'm a marketing guy too, dude. I learned
I could
marketing,
tell. I
and
could
so
tell.
I
I think
I took marketing serious.
yeah, you have to. Like every business owner has to embrace. There's two or three things that they have to embrace. One is customer service, sales for sure, but marketing. So you got to be able to know how to get your customer attracted, right? And that's the marketing piece, right? How to really dial in, that's the sales piece, and the customer service is going to be how you keep your customers. So sometimes we see that some entrepreneurs are just missing key
I,
components, but marketing is
I
also
call it
important.
I call it the triangle of death:
There you
sales,
go.
marketing, and fulfillment. If one
Fulfillment.
i- if one is broken or one is neglected, they're it's just going to break. The whole engine
Yep.
is going to break. So
Yep.
you have to make sure your marketing is on point, your sales is on point, and your fulfillment's on point.
Yep, I got you. So it sounds like we're dropping a lot of knowledge and we're speaking to a lot of new entrepreneurs too, or they could even be seasoned, right? So earlier I talked to you about, going back to the younger Daniel when you first got started. Let's fast forward to 2023. Let's fast forward to now. If you had a word for entrepreneurs that are struggling right now, they're facing some type of adversity, they're just confused because there's a lot of messaging out there from real gurus, fake gurus on what to do with marketing, how to start your business, how to grow, how to scale your business. What would you tell them?
Well, man, I will say this: information's free. Um,
Hmm.
Implementation is what costs money. Take action if you want to do anything. Right? The information is out there, man. You got something that you want to sell. You have prospecting systems. You got
Right.
email. You got Facebook. You got Instagram. You got LinkedIn. Most people are just lazy and they don't take action, and they think sales are going to fall on their lap, or they think they make a few videos because someone said
Right.
that they're likable, they're going to get some sales in. You have to take massive action. And I mean, it's a nasty world out there, man. You
It
also got to
is.
use your intuition. um
Right.
you got some fake and phonies out there, dude. You gotta be able to tell, and don't believe everything you hear. Take it in, and I guess what's the saying they say, take it with a grain of salt. And
Take it with a grain of salt. Yep.
so you got to be smart.
Yeah,
You
you
can't.
got to. You got to. Yep. So in that vein, I know sometimes we actually learn. Not sometimes. We always learn. Like when we're talking about failing forward and stumbling and having challenges, we're gonna learn, and sometimes we're learning from what our customer is giving us. So in the beginning, it's easy to not have your SOPs in order and run through and actually mess up, right? So, have you ever had an opportunity or an experience where you kind of dropped the ball and the customer let you know and they insulted you, but that insult made you greater? If you do have that experience, can you share it with us?
100%, man.
Yeah.
Uh Once upon a time, I didn't, I didn't set good expectations, and we
Okay.
didn't set a good customer journey. So
Right.
we would have, complaints here and there. You're never going to be perfect in business, but we would have complaints. Um, excuse me. And
You
what we
good?
would do is we would evaluate the complaints, look at them, not take them personal, and figure out, well, we missed our mark. What could we do to prevent this from happening again? And what can we do to get better? And we would, again, I would go in the arsenal, write SOP to, prevent this from happening. This is what we're going to
Right.
do. Change a process around. And if something like this does happen, how to apply corrective action. Listen, there's been customers that I've dropped the bomb, man. I've
Yeah,
told
man.
customers to screw off if
Yeah.
once in a while when they get crazy. But
Right.
also too is that we learned how to work with customers that we want to work with by vetting them. Listen, every customer isn't going to be right for me. So I learned later in the stage not to take money. Not all money is good money.
Not all
Not to
money is
take
good money.
not to take money from everybody, man. You
Right.
know, decline it, because at the end of the day, you want to take on a customer who's going to have a probability of giving you the best experience, and you want to create the best experience. So yeah, man, I've had I even tell clients today
Right.
that 8 out of 10 clients are happy. We cannot please everybody. That's how
Right.
business is. But we try to do our best, and we try to make sure that we provide the best service, that we set really good expectations.
Right.
And yeah, we even have an onboarding call where we reiterate the expectations, go over the client success roadmap,
Right.
and we try our best. But sometimes we mess up. Everybody
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
human.
I think that's part of it. I think the thing that you hit on the head was, one, not all money is good money. Two, not every customer is your customer. I try to tell people that all the time, right? So just because they're offering you XYZ amount of dollars, if you can't fulfill what they need and the expectations aren't there, it's not going to work out. It's just not going to work out.
Yeah.
But then you brought up customers in general. Like as we wind down, tell us a little bit about the business. If we have potential customers out there that need your services, I'd love for them to connect with you. So walk us through a little bit about what you do as a VA and how you provide successful service for potential customers.
So we focus on recruiting virtual assistants that speak English as their primary language. So we're going into countries throughout the Caribbean. We're recruiting in Jamaica. We're recruiting in Barbados. We're going all throughout Latin America, Belize, um, a little bit of Colombia, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, El Salvador. So we're really around the Caribbean
Right.
and
South
Latin.
America, Central America, yeah, Latin America.
But my favorite part is really the Caribbean. I love Barbados. I love Jamaica.
Nice.
I love Belize. Those are my three favorite places.
Faves. Okay.
Yeah, because English is their first language. There is
Right.
not a significant cultural or language barrier, if any at all. So when we're presenting VAs, I mean, you've seen some of the VAs. You know,
Yeah.
these guys are professional, man. They are great. They are excellent, and it's not what people are used to. A lot of people are used to the VAs from the Philippines,
Right.
and not to
Not to knock them. Right.
but it's not what we do. We try to provide a more premium service. Is there good talent in the Philippines? Absolutely. Does it
Right.
take a lot more screening? 100%. Does it take
Gotcha.
understanding the cultural, the culture there? 100%. But same thing in Jamaica, man. Same thing in Barbados. You need to
Right.
understand the culture inside those countries,
Of
and
course.
especially the hiring culture. So, that's the first thing we do is we vet, we screen, we recruit, premium virtual assistants. Then we have a training process, and which is part of our screening process, where we're
Hmm.
not only trying to find the best candidate, that can get the job done, but we're also trying to make a good cultural fit. So just because,
Nice.
let's say Charlize is, a great VA, right? Is going to
Right.
knock it out of the park. Doesn't mean she's a right fit for your company. So
Makes sense.
we're putting them through personality tests. We're putting our clients through personality tests and making sure that we could, make that perfect match.
Gotcha. Almost like a dating app per se,
Yeah,
professionally. Right.
yeah,
Making sure
yeah,
it's a good fit.
yeah, like a work day. Yeah, so, pretty
I
much.
love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. So I appreciate the time. Still got a couple questions for you. You
Awesome.
got the water going. Yeah, you're comfortable. But earlier we spoke about just getting resources. We spoke about jumping online, YouTube, and I want to talk to you personally and professionally about how you stay charged up. Who's your favorite personal or professional mentor right now? Somebody that you haven't met, but you could access them through either books, the internet, YouTube. Who are you listening to? Who's keeping you charged up?
Oh man, that's a good one, dude. Um, I mean, I used to like Grant Cardone, but it's everything that
Okay,
he says is kind of basic now.
it is.
It's not really. Um, Honestly, I don't like. There's no like celebrities out
Single.
there.
Okay,
But what I do is I do try to learn from the younger guys.
I like
Um,
it.
the reason I try to learn from the younger guys is because as you get older, you become old business. So I try to
Right,
stay in new business. I
right.
try to stay on top of the new trends because those are the guys that I really learn marketing from. If you understand
Hmm.
marketing, you're going to know that it's a bunch of freaking 17-year-old kids that
Yep,
just
doing it.
popped up and made
Yeah.
millions. And these are the guys that I really learned from. I mean, who's my favorite like guy online right now? I would say Ravi. Let me hopefully I'm pronouncing his name. Ravi
It's okay.
Scaling with systems. Scaling with systems.
Scaling with systems. Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha, gotcha. I
that's one of
can't
my
pronounce his
favorites.
name either, but I've seen him.
Ravi.
But yeah, the internet especially when you run a business, it should really be all about learning. It's easy to kind of get in there and you see the trends, and before you know it, you're scrolling through reels. But you really can design your own algorithm. So if you're all about brand growth and growing your business and finding a way to get to a higher place from an entrepreneur standpoint, you could definitely do that through TikTok, through Reels, through YouTube, etc. So I liked how you tapped into just grabbing the younger audience because you're right. These young guys, even though they are still sticking to the core roots of marketing, they've found new ways to attract audiences that are relevant to these new platforms, these new systems. So you hit it on the head. I actually like that answer a lot. I too used to listen to Grant Cardone a lot. I remember getting the 10x rule. And I think I read that book maybe two or three times. He was charged up. But, and this is no knock on Grant, but, over so long, the messaging becomes the same. The other thing that I've realized too is, when you're reading all these personal self help books over and over again, the situations and the road and the journey is all the same.
Yeah.
Like you just have to, like you said earlier, it's all about implementation, right? Like people will read books and listen to gurus, but never take the next step, right?
That's why I said
So
action, man. Take action.
it's all about taking immediate action. So I appreciate that
Grant
for
Cardone,
sure.
what I like about Grant Cardone now is the things that Grant Cardone was doing in 2017 that we were
Yep,
all drooling over. Oh man, I wish I
yep,
could close that $5,000 deal over the phone. Oh man, I wish I could, make that much money. Like we've achieved that. We've achieved
yep.
like Grant
Everybody's doing
Cardone
it.
level of success that
Right.
I don't even think he's relevant anymore.
You're right.
I just don't think he's relevant. I don't think
Right.
that he has anything valuable that he could throw in the market that's new,
Right.
that's disruptive. He's not disruptive anymore. And we
Best
want
way to put
things
it.
that are disruptive. We want a
Right.
disruption that everybody hates so we could change an industry.
Exactly. You can't get change without disruption. Yeah, you can't get change without fire. Like you're gonna need something traumatic to happen that's gonna just shake it up. So you hit it right on the head. Daniel, this has been great. I appreciate you. We're definitely gonna stay in touch. For anybody
Awesome.
that's listening, that's interested in getting a VA, how can they reach out to you?
They could just find me on Instagram. Daniel P. Jones Sr. Is the user.
Yep.
Instagram, Facebook.
Facebook. Yep.
You just find me on Facebook, man, or Instagram.
I appreciate it. Daniel, this has been good. Again, if you're watching live, I see a couple of people in here, and we close out. Go ahead and throw your comments down below. I'll make sure that Daniel has access just in case he can answer or help me answer any of the questions that are related to VA work.
Definitely.
But brother, this has been a true honor and a pleasure. If you need anything, just reach out. But and everybody else that's listening, thanks for listening to the Brand Marketing Podcast. Good night and peace out.
Thanks for having me.
You got it. Thank you.
Thanks for listening. The Brand Marketing Podcast is produced by Gladmash. To get access to more brand marketing tips, visit www.brandmarketingblueprint.com.